Are
Hold
the
on, we are now going live. I forgot there's a second step to this. We're live. We are officially live.
amazing? We are officially live. I'm I'm waiting a hot sec to confirm on my YouTube so that I can see through my eyes that we. Oh, there we are.
We are
Okay,
now
I
going
see it.
live.
I
I forgot
see
there's
it.
a second step to this.
Okay, I see it. There we are.
All
I've muted
right.
us. Everyone, hello. Thank you so much for being there. For those of you who just joined us, which is us and also everyone, we were figuring out if we were live or not. We've done it. We're live. Hello. My name is Preston Allen. I am the writer of We Are the Tigers, and I am joined today by so many wonderful people in the cast and team of We Are the Tigers, and we are celebrating our 2-year anniversary. It's been 2 years. First, we're going to kick it off by going around and introducing ourselves. There's no order to this Zoom grid, I think, so we're just going to throw the baton. Preston, he, him, if you want to include your pronouns, please do that. And I'm going to throw it to our epic stage manager and my lifesaver, Jenny Kennedy.
Hi, folks. Jenny Kennedy as the production stage manager for We Are the Tigers Off-Broadway, she, her, hers. And I'm going to toss it over to our fearless director, Michael Bello.
Hello, I'm Michael, he, him, his, and I directed We Are the Tigers. And I'm going to toss it to Patrick.
Hey everybody, I am Patrick, he, him, his. I was the music supervisor of We Are the Tigers Off-Broadway. And I will throw it to Captain Riley, Lauren Zachrin.
Hi, I'm Lauren Zachrin, and I played Riley Big Surprise. And I'm so excited to talk to you all, and I will pass it to Mimi.
Hi, y'all! I'm Mimi Scardula, she, her, hers, and I played the fabulous Reese in We Are the Tigers Off-Broadway, and every once in a while in the shower now when I relive the beautiful memories. And I'm going to pass it to Zoe Jensen.
Hey, y'all, my name is Zoe Jensen, she, her, hers, and I played Farah. Which was awesome. And now I will pass it on to my blood sis, Celeste Rose.
Hi guys, I'm Celeste Rose, she, her, hers, and I played Chess. And now I will pass it off to Lewis.
Hello everyone, I'm Lewis Griffin, he, him, his, and I played Clark with all these lovely ladies. I'm gonna pass it to Miss Wanu who just joined us. Hello.
Hi, my name is Wanu. I played Cairo, she, her, hers, and hey everybody, happy 2-year Tigerversary.
Toss it off, Wanu.
Oh, who hasn't gone yet? Who do I toss it? Jenny, go ahead, girl.
Hi, I'm Jenny Baker, she, her, hers. I played Kate, and I'm going to pass it on to Sydney.
Hey, thanks, Jenny. My name is Sydney Cara, she, her, hers, and I played Ava Sanchez. And I think that's it. I think that's everybody.
Incredible. It is so amazing to see your beautiful, wonderful, talented, special faces. What a gift this evening is. And over the last couple days, we've been collecting questions from people who have followed us on different social medias. So we have a very exciting array of questions. I do want to say, if you guys within this Zoom are keeping an eye on comments throughout this evening, and you see a question that shows up in the comments that you feel like must be answered, that you want to answer, or that you want to throw to someone in this group, please feel free. We want some spontaneity in this evening, in addition to our beautiful questions that we have. First of all, I think we're going to kick it off with something that I really want to know, which is, was there ever a moment where you had to try really, really hard not to break character and laugh? Mimi. Mimi raised her hand. Oh my God, using the reaction button.
Okay, I happened to be with Caitlin Frank the other day when we got like the questions that might be asked. And I was like, I don't know. I can't remember if I ever, and then it like hit me like a ton of bricks. So we had to go through this whole process of how to clean the stage at the end of the night with the blood and the this and the that. And they had tried something new with how to clean the stage. And for those of you, spoiler alert, Caitlin and I have this really big stage combat scene during Shut Up and Cheer in the second act. And there was a point where Caitlin was supposed to run into me. I fall on the ground. She grabs me by my hair and pulls me across the stage, pulls me, kind of like fake drags me. Well, with the new method of cleaning the stage was like sticky as I don't know what. So Caitlin goes to pull me. I go to push my heels and push myself. And I literally go, and I didn't move a lick. My like big old booty just stuck to the stage. And it's supposed to take up like a nice chunk of time. And it took up no time. And all I just was like this. And all I went is, and I looked down at the ground and I was like, it took everything in my power not to die laughing. And there was this woman in the front row who could tell that something happened that was not supposed to happen and was laughing with me. And I was like, I gotta get it together. I gotta get it together. I gotta get it together. So that was my try not to break, laugh on stage moment.
Jenny, I'm seeing a hand from Jenny.
Hand from Jenny. I would say jumping off of that because I forgot that during Shut Up and Cheer, Mimi and I had time on the bench, and the conversations that we tried to have while trying to stay in character. I am really not good at pretending like I'm not trying, like, not to laugh. And I wish I could remember something specific, but Mimi was so good at talking to me as Reese that I was just like almost in tears all the time. And I forgot about that until I like mentally was in Shut Up and Cheer with you just now.
There was like moments where we were supposed to stand and we were so involved in this conversation, I forgot. And I would literally be like, you're gonna, like so many times. I was like, there were curse words said.
Oh, absolutely. It was probably stuff like, you know, so tell me about the first time you met Chess, like really in depth.
Yeah. We'd get into it.
Full backstories going on stage. Does anyone else have a moment where they were like, oh, Lauren?
I had the same one every night. And it was because of the audience. Every night on the line, I don't know, Kai, I just wanted to cheer and people died. The audience reaction was always just like beyond what I was able to handle. And so I had this just very like cross my arms and look up stage really frustrated so that I wouldn't be seen laughing. It just always overwhelmed me, the audience response to that line.
That's one of those lines that I didn't know would get a laugh. It's like fairly genuinely Riley, and it like always got such a laugh. And then like kudos to Wanu, who then had to like be so intense afterwards. But you did it every night. You did it. I was so impressed because I like had no idea it was gonna get that much of a consistent response. That's Celeste.
I just remembered that like when we first opened or first had previews, whenever Lewis would die, whenever the shower would happen, like the audience thought that was the funniest thing ever. And I guess we weren't expecting that. They were like screaming and clapping, like, yeah, kill him. And I'm like laying on the bench, supposed to be dead. And I was just so shocked by that reaction that I was like heaving, laughing, just like shaking while the audience, because they loved, so sorry, Lewis, but they loved when you got murdered. It was nice. Good job, Mimi.
Love you, Lewis.
Yeah, okay.
Also, another moment where it wasn't until I was going to break on stage or laugh was one day, there was one show I actually hit Lewis with the shower head. And I remember like everyone had come, I couldn't ask him what happened at first. And so I literally had to wait till I had like a moment where I was supposed to take in the space. And I literally bent down and I was like, are you okay? I was like, shake your head, they can't.
Yes.
I was so confused.
I had to be dead on that toilet for like a 15-minute sequence after. And Mimi had just whispered in my ear, she's like, are you okay? I'll check in later.
All I could think of, like, I was like, defense, Lewis is concussed. I just hurt my friend and he's gonna be upset. Like, I was so it was good times.
I also have a message from Kathy Ang, who is going to be joining us at the very tail end of this adventure. She wanted to be here and she's going to try, but she had let me know that she would always be struggling not to laugh when everyone was freaking out about the blood on her face, and that she definitely broke during a couple shows regarding the blood that when she has to come out of the bathroom after smacking her face on the toilet. Was that what happened in this show? I think so. Oh, also,
and I just got word that the shower head in question is now installed in the bathroom of our head audio engineer.
Art imitates and then becomes.
Becca is watching.
That makes me so happy.
Oh, shout out at Becca who inspired this night. Thank you so much. Obviously we've all been very stressed out, and I presently have COVID, and I didn't remember what day the opening was, and Becca told me. Thank you. So we were able to plan this. Also, I have no symptoms. I'm totally okay. I've also been so isolated, so like do everything you're supposed to, because you can be living alone with a cat and still somehow get it from something. Anyway, I'm now, also, by the way, I am amending the raised hand policy to like just jump in if you have Michael was like, yes, that is a good. It seemed like a really good policy, and now I'm like, no, we should amend that. Also, just in case there's anyone here watching tonight who does not know the plot of the musical, I'm gonna give a brief rundown of the plot of the musical. Does that sound fun? If I forget anything, please jump in or wave when your character comes up. We've got our Captain Riley, Lauren Zachrin, who is the Tigers cheer captain for the first time after being on the team for a long time and being a very enthusiastic member of the team. And she is hosting the annual sleepover. She is very hopeful that this is going to be a great year. Last year was a little rough. There was a stunt that they did that went viral because Chess, one of the teammates, was a little on drugs and dropped Farah, one of the teammates, who was a little drinking alcohol, and it went viral. And so they're trying to recover from that with good spirits and starting the year over, but they're a little bit distracted. We've got Kate, who does not really want to be there, but she is there because her best friend Chess is really trying to overcome everything that's been in her way. It's a very abridged version of the show. And also Kate is very into supporting Chess. Take that as you will. And it's Chess's senior year and Kate's junior year. So she is sad about her leaving. And then we've got Ann Lee, who is Caitlin Frank, who is going to be joining us later, who is pretty enthusiastic about the team. And she is also very religious, and that is, I can't really describe that as part of the plot. It's just in the show. And also she has a very doting boyfriend named Clark, shout out Lewis, who is gonna crash the sleepover later that night, and it doesn't go well. We've got Reese, who's the mascot, and she's always tried to be on the team, but it has not worked out for her. It will later on, but because of the loss of some teammates, because there's murder in this show. And then we've got we've Farah, who is Ann Lee's stepsister also, and who keeps causing problems for her because she still is kind of drinking all over the place, and Ann Lee wants her to not be doing that. And then, of course, we've got Cairo, who is Riley's best friend, who is like a really good cheerleader, but not like super enthusiastic about cheer, but like definitely is supporting Riley and is, also kind of trying to have a fun night while Riley's trying to have a structured night. they end up having very different versions of the evening that transpire. So ultimately, we've got this team. I'll get to Ava. Is there anyone Maddie is the new cheerleader, and Maddie is Kathy Ng, who will be joining us later as well. And she is the freshman who accidentally gets super drunk during Truth or Dare. And basically what happens is Chess and Farah end up, spoilers, like, I guess turn this off if you don't want to know, but stay on. They end up getting super murdered. They don't know who did it. Cairo's like, I know all of you. I really trust you. I don't know Maddie, so I think she's probably the one who did it. This is a very abridged version of a very long scene. And they blame Maddie, and she goes to prison. And then the girls who have died are replaced by Reese, who becomes a teammate, and by Ava Sanchez, who's the top flyer in the state, who's a little bit like, oh no, about being there. And they ultimately have to figure out who actually did the murder, because it clearly wasn't sweet, innocent Maddie. Was that the show? Did I mention that you died, Lewis?
I think my death was skipped over, but
Oh no, Lewis dies accidentally, violently, but Mimi was doing a really good job to try not to hurt Lewis in real life.
I was just scared. I was terrified.
I was scared too.
So if you've never heard of Tigers, that's briefly, in my own COVID-y words, what the show is about. If I missed anything and you're like, they must absolutely know this is a plot point, hop in.
I just want to say, I want to shout out all the people in the chat. After spending years working on this musical, it is surreal to see you all typing quotes, loving the show as much as we do. It's crazy to watch those chats roll in. So thank you all for that. Made my night.
I am not keeping an eye on the chat, so thank you. And I will say, we're going to kick the night off with, I am aware of this. So we're going to address it right off the bat. I know that something that a lot of people are invested in is the love connections of many of the characters in the show. We've of course got the Kate and Ava couple that does end up together at the end of the show. We've got the long and confusing history of Riley and Cairo that exists in different iterations in different ways. And if you've watched the song 8th Grade, you may have different views on that than if you saw the iteration that now exists. And then we've got all sorts of other love connections. Oh, of course, Clark and Anley are really rocking some people's worlds. I'm very honored to have written like a straight couple that people like. That's very unique and rare for me. And then recently we had, I was summoned to Tumblr to check out a new couple that had arisen from I don't know quite how this happened, but it was Chai, which is Chess and Cairo. So it's, that is what Chai is.
Hi, Manu.
Do we?
Hey, girl.
There we go. There's some excitement for Chai.
What's good?
Nice.
Prescott, if only they'd seen the 2015 reading.
Wait, what was that? Oh, yeah. But they know about that. Are you referring? You're referring to Rilo Kiley, though, right?
Yes.
Oh yes, in 2015, and also before that, my little gay heart wanted everything to be very, very gay. And at this point, I now just write a bunch of different projects that are very gay. But there was a Riley Cairo kiss in 2015, and prior to that. Their tension, they have clearly a tension as friends, and in that iteration, it came out as romantic, as a lovers to as enemies to lovers situation that wasn't ultimately right for those characters and the dynamic that they had, which speaks to the joys, trials, and tribulations of new musicals and development, and like having a conversation with myself where I go, not everyone can be super queer in this musical, though that is being tested by Wanu. Wanu's like, so that's great. I am glad that there's support for Chai. I think that will mean a lot to some people from what I understand. There's also some chive. Oh my God, I forgot my own thing where I was going to show everyone fan art. I want to ask a few more questions before we visit fan art land, because I think it's good to like know the characters and know some of the show before we like visit that. Thank you all for bearing with me as we figure out the flow of this Zoom Q&A. I'm having a great time. I want to ask this question. If anyone has any thoughts about couples or their characters within the plot of the show that we didn't mention just now, raise a hand metaphorically or with your amazing. Everyone's just along for the ride. I really want to ask, what are some excitements and challenges of originating a role in a new musical? Take it away whenever you're ready. Ruminate on it and someone jump in.
Yeah, start. Oh, sorry. No, you go first, actually, and then I will go.
Okay. Oh man, I think it's like both sides of the coin. It's really cool to bring yourself to a new role. Like when something's never been done before, there's no pressure to emulate anything. And so you can bring like all of your little authentic bits and pieces to it. But then at least for me, on the other side of the coin, sometimes the challenge is like, but what do they want it to be? Like just that constant voice in the back of your head where you're like, but is this what Preston wants? But is this what Michael wants? Like, I'm definitely like going in my own direction, but what do they want it to be? So you get to like play a little bit, but then there's the pressure of like wanting to mold it into something that is what the creators are envisioning. Yeah.
We've just been joined by Alexia, so we're going to say hello to Alexia. Why don't you tell us in your own words your name and pronouns and your roles in the show?
Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Alexia Cielo, and she, her, hers, and I was the swing for We Are the Tigers.
Very glad you're here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Currently addressing the excitements and challenges of originating a role in the show, and in your case, many roles. And I also wanted to say to Lauren's point that while I like understand the like nervousness about like what's going on in my head, I learned so much from like what you all brought to the role. Like there was something very exciting about like when you came and auditioned, like what each of you were bringing, and we like got to learn from you as well, which is always very amazing and very special. So does anyone else want to share their trials and tribulations and joys?
I'll go. I just because you know what you were saying about I love the idea of like originating a role, and also it's so cool to get to like be with like a group of us, creating a world. It's more than just creating myself, it's us creating like our dynamics together. I think that's really fun. I think definitely a challenge of creating a new character would be like it's like given circumstances is what we talk about in acting, which is their life outside of the show. You really have to you want to make these people seem like actual people. I think something that's challenging is I'm definitely someone that I learn by example, which is why my current job, I learned a track and that really worked for me. But so sometimes just making something up or making up my own character can be kind of a challenge. But it really, the thing that I really focused on was I really wanted to make this person feel very real. So what kind of research goes into that? For me, it was that Farrah's an alcoholic, so I even did a little bit of research into that. I would definitely say that that's a little bit more of a challenge, but it's a lot of fun. And what I was gonna say is that we learned a song very last minute before we went into tech. And it was so exciting to get to feel like we were adding our voice and our style into this, you know what I mean? It just felt like it really reflected on not only our characters, but on our vocal strengths, things like that. That's kind of fun to be a part of, to feel like it's kind of the whole world's being created around you. End rant.
I also really love.
Can I go?
Oh, you go, Anu, you go.
No, wait. Oh, girl. I was just gonna say, exciting thing about originating a role, especially like this, it's like getting to see, like, you know, we all had those, maybe not that one person, but or like a handful of people that we all like, we found the musical and we listened to it all the time. We looked up to that person. And I don't want to say that like people look up to me, but people love this musical so much. And to see like other young brown girls who are in high school and who are just like, oh, I see Cairo out here doing her thing. And I'm like, yes, come on, sing. When I see like the videos of young girls doing the covers, just being able to see like them doing their own spin on something that like you helped bring to life, that's really exciting to me. I love that part of the process. And I definitely have to agree with Zoe. Consistency, I feel like, is one thing, like making choices that are consistent to the character is something that I always try to make sure that I'm doing whenever I'm creating some kind of character. And also about these last minute changes, especially when there's a preview process to a new project. You can have something that's changing every single minute, every second, every day. And your brain is working on like super overtime. So yeah, exciting, but challenging. Okay, Mimi, go ahead, girl.
Oh no, I was just saying one of my favorite things is about specifically creating a new character and being the first person to like step into their shoes in a big way is that I continued learning about Reese and who she was and who she was supposed to be up until the day we closed. Like there were things that I realized that last week that I was like, oh my goodness, like this is I could have done this show for years and years to come because it was just so, one, I loved everyone I shared the stage with in a very genuine, beautiful way. And two, it was just a fun character to make a meal out of. Also, I'll never forget like the first time I sat down with Michael to do that first scene before Captain. Michael was like, so Mimi, Reese, like, is she good or does she just want to be good? And I was like, oh no, she's good. She's great. She's phenomenal at this. And I think it was really important for me to like, she has the goods. Somebody else is holding her back. She's not holding herself back. She's fighting to make change. And I was really important for me to be a change maker, like to be someone who was fighting for something in the show. So it was like, it's really fun things like that you get to put yourself into this musical because that was very much my story. And I was so happy that Preston and Michael were so game to be like, okay, yeah, she's good. This is who she is. And it's exciting to like, just like come out and have that moment and have that dialogue to be able to like make something. It's not, you're not planning a daisy and it's going to be a daisy. You're like planning a daisy and it's going to be like a rose, which is, I love about new musicals. There's like always, there changes before it's complete.
And your dance from the rehearsal video took off on TikTok. It got the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. So very confirmed across the world that Reese is good. Reese is very good.
I want that in a shirt. Reese is good.
It's very good. Jenny.
So I really resonated with what Zoe said, which is like, when I'm just told like, go, that's not always my strong suit. Cause I like to like know what I'm doing, even just for myself before I present it to somebody. And I worked on this show starting, what was it? 2015 was the first time that I was in it. And we came back to it a lot and it changed here and there, but we were always really doing readings and we didn't have props, we didn't have costumes, although I always had a flannel, of course, flannel and choker. And actually getting to walk in the first day of rehearsal, I feel like it took me a moment to be comfortable saying, okay, well, now we're creating this world. What do I add to either what I've already been doing that maybe I'm a little stuck in, that is more appropriate for the group that we're in now, that we're in a physical space and we can do something. I remember I asked Michael at some point, I was like sitting on the ground and I was like, can I have something that I'm doing? And it ended up being the book. It was either maybe like a journal that we were thinking about or a book. And even just being able to ask that question is something that took me a really long time to learn is okay. It's not just the performance. It's like being part of it's not just like taking what the director says and putting it into your performance, but actually being a part of what that direction becomes and what it is you're going to do on stage. That has not been a strong suit of mine, and it's definitely something that with Tigers I will take with me as like you're participating in creating what this person does on stage, and maybe the next person to do it, like Zoe was saying with following a track, like they're going to have a book because you had a book, and that becomes part of their starting point, and then they'll add something onto it. So that was really exciting for me and something that I had never gotten to do before.
And with that, something that like to build on to, like, I get to interact with what you were adding to it. When you wanted to add the book, we were like, oh my God, what book would Kate be reading? Which was super fun to think about, and it added to the characters. And we're like, oh my God, she would love Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, because it's like an angsty queer detective, like amazing. And then we were like, but she's already read the first two. So she's on the third one.
Yeah, and she's certainly not going to waste this night at this sleepover not continuing her book.
She needs to know what Lisbeth is up to. And that also like informed, like, if you're really paying attention, like, why does Kate care so much about solving the mystery in like Act 2? It's like, oh, this is like in her mind. So it's like a very like interspersed process.
It's not just, oh, I'm gonna make this like tiny little vocal choice and that's gonna be me like originating a character. It was really, really amazing for me to experience.
Caroline, we've been joined by Caroline. Please name and your pronouns and your roles in the show.
Oh boy. Caroline, she, her. Well, I was one of the female understudies. Let's see. Riley, Chess, Cairo, Anley, Farah. Yeah. Went on for Farah and Cairo.
I didn't remember all of them. I'm gonna say it, y'all. I remember all of your faces, all of your names, but the characters, I'm like, oh yeah, I played Mimi, I played Jenny, I played Sydney one night, and I don't remember.
Exactly.
You two had so much going on that we're going to actually ask a few questions about that process.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because it is so beyond me how you managed to like learn all those parts. And we also had some internal understudies that I'm very curious to like, what was your process of, we'll get there in a sec, like what was the process of like understudying someone who killed you or understudying someone that you were in love with or that hated you, which is always very fun to me. But while we're on the vein of new musicals and developing in that way, I'm very curious, Michael, what is the difference in your process with directing a new musical? Because I know you direct many, many things, and you've directed shows that exist, you've directed a lot of new musicals, but for this process in particular.
Yeah, I think when it comes to directing a new musical, it is the story that comes first. So as a director, there's a collaboration that comes in a new musical, in that like, I can't be the most important person in the room because the person who is writing the story is in the room. And it is always going to be my job to bring that story to life and to tell that story. Whereas in a revival, if I'm doing, the 6 millionth production of Oklahoma, Rodgers and Hammerstein aren't there. I can, have big grand ideas and do some flashy staging and sort of do make myself and my work a little bit more of the front and center. Whereas, over 5 years, it was, Preston, Patrick, and I, what is the best way to tell this story? And we have to figure out like, this is the story Preston wants to tell. How can I bring it to life on stage? How can it sing? Here's the issue we're having with the staging. Okay, Preston, can we alter this story just a bit because I can't get this, we can't have a kitchen and a bathroom on stage. We can only have one. We can't fit both of those rooms. So there's a bit more of a collaboration that goes into telling a story when you're making something new, because as all of these wonderful people said before me, things can change at any minute. And also Preston can speak to when a new musical is being brought to life and things are on stage and you have 4 hours of rehearsal and a preview. Sometimes things can't change any minute, and it has to go on a list for the next production. And a very long-winded answer, but that's sort of the what I view as the difference for me.
I feel like that could be like a seminar. So like we could go on and on about that. And this question is going to be for Patrick, Michael, and Jenny Kennedy. Um, is there a character in the show that you like really related to?
I have always felt like an Ann Lee at heart. So she's just so funny, and she loves Jesus. Um, yeah, I also think just Caitlin and I vibe on the same wavelength. So I think I'm an Ann Lee.
I'd say that I'm an Ava Sanchez. I am happy to like do my thing when it's time and otherwise watch some crazy happen around me.
I think like on a personality level, I see a lot of myself in Riley, for better or for worse. However, as growing up a big boy in musical theater, there's also a lot of Reese's journey that I see and relate to. But I could definitely kill someone to get what I want.
That's so funny because I relate to Riley too, but I've always said that like I relate in the way that I'm like Riley blames others for her like things that she gets very stressed about, and I blame myself. So it was really great to like change that up for me. I'm usually like, oh, I did rad, and Riley's like, no, it couldn't have been me. It's very cathartic to write that character.
She had a dream and she would do anything to get it.
And it almost worked. Patrick, I am very excited to talk to you about this. As the harmonies and the arrangements people seem very attracted to those, and I understand why. And a lot of that is your work. I give you a demo that's me screaming and singing and playing guitar, and you and our amazing music team make it very magical and make it very beautiful. And I wanted to know what your process was like for how you world build and sound build from the very bare bones demos that I provided you with.
It's actually funny, because this show, Michael and you and I grew with it over the course of, a couple years. It comes in bits and pieces, but the development of each song is really, Preston sends me an amazing demo with 14 Prestons singing, over usually you playing guitar. And then it's just a translation process for me, obviously, to translate the sounds that I'm hearing onto paper. And then the most fun that I had during this production was writing the arrangement for Don't Even, because it was 2 or 3 weeks into the rehearsal process that Preston wrote it, kind of wrote it over the course of 2 days. I got it and had to turn it around, but I knew all of these ladies' voices by then, so I could say like, oh, Lauren and Caitlin are gonna take the top, and Zoe can hold down a middle harmony, and these voices blend together better, and this is the story that we're telling. So the end of Don't Even was actually more complicated at one point. The first one I wrote had like a whole third thing. And it was the process that Michael was talking about. It was too much at that point. So it's finding the right balance of voice to part to, what's really going to get the important story across. Yeah, it's like being a translator.
I stand by that when we break into the We Are the Soul of the School and Don't Even is maybe one of the most beautifully arranged things I have ever sung or listened to. I think it's stunning work, Patrick. It's like so good.
That's very sweet. The first version I sent, Michael was like, it's not beautiful enough. So this is what you hear on the album is version 2.
I did never say that. It was always beautiful.
I want to shout out to Caitlin, who has joined us. Caitlin, do you want to say your name, pronouns, and your role in the show?
I'd love to. Hi, I'm Caitlin, she, her, and I was Ann Lee. Love you all a lot. Thanks for having me late.
Jenny Kennedy, I would love to know, is your process for calling and stage managing a new musical different from one that already exists?
It's mostly different during the preview process because that is when you play with songs changing. You deal with much larger changes than you do for a musical that is already published and out, and you're just getting the rights to it. So we were doing problem solving for things that no one had done before. We had to pull someone underneath the platform on a bench with an entirely human operated rig. So we ran into some challenges, and we really tried not to kill Celeste so many times. So yes, in a really, really exciting way. It's more challenging.
And how do you and our amazing Backstage team are such an anchor of the show, and you are such a captain of that ship. How do you keep it together? You're always so, you made me feel so good when I was so panicked about so many things. I just wonder, how do you keep that energy that keeps us all going?
I think it's hard to stage manage without your personal version of that, because that is our job. It's our job to be some kind of rock for the people around you, and to know what's going to be happening 3 minutes from now, even if Preston's in the other room writing the scene that you don't know what's in it yet. So thank you. And the team I had was amazing. We had an all-female stage management and tech crew, and they all brought their A game to Weird Little Theater 80 and all of its quirks.
I want to shout everyone out at the end of this evening to make sure we get everyone's names called, because we had really such a wonderful team, and we want to talk about, we get a lot of comments on the sound and the lighting and the set, at all, and we had such a wonderful group, and hopefully we'll be able to have more of these at some point and be able to hear from more people on the team. I would love to take a brief dive into some of this fan art. Does this seem like a good moment? Is everyone ready to see some of the amazing artwork that has been sent to me? And if you sent it to me past a certain time, I'm so sorry it didn't make it in here. But it was all so wonderful. And also, there's a lot more if you look at the Tigers tag, the We Are the Tigers hashtag on Instagram, that is all very exciting. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me make sure it is 100% all the things I want everyone on YouTube to see. Yes. Incredible. Okay. Can we all see it? Yay, I'm getting a we can. Okay. Can you all see you too in the little thing? There we go. Okay. We have this, and feel free to shout out when you see yourself and be like, this is great. Cult of Marvin. We have this beautiful recreation of the poster of the show. Okay, great. Okay, this is a Spotify. I was just told that the credit is to Duck, so thank you very much. These are all Spotify reimaginations that I just think are so exciting and incredible. So thank you.
Yes.
Keep this one up here for a little bit.
That's so sick.
I'm like, can we let's make it the real response to it. Ugh. So
this is amazing.
LOL. I love this.
Note the breakdown buttons right here. Matt,
the colors from Maddie.
Accents.
Amazing.
Accents.
Okay.
I love it. Gorgeous, gorgeous. The Heart and the Flame. .tumblr.com. Some people didn't, and I didn't end up getting your credits in time, so you're gonna be like, you just used my email signature, and I'm gonna be like, yes.
I love that one of me holding the pom-pom, Reese holding the pom-poms. Like, give me chills.
I'll find the good things.
So sweet.
Oh.
Stunning. Oh my God, we look adorable.
I need prints of all of these.
We have Cairo O'Reilly as kids, and we have, of course, we have Chai. We have.
Wait, I didn't know this was a thing. I'm pretty shocked. This is amazing.
Also, that picture looks just like the little picture that was in the basement.
It does. I think someone found it.
That's creepy but cool.
I like zoom in on that set and appreciate every detail. Someone found the Gone Girl book that's there. Thank you. That was in LA also. We love
Very observant.
Riley loves Gone Girl. Okay, Milky.bug on Insta.
Oh, this is sick.
Oh,
This is
one.
sickening.
I'm obsessed.
Cartoon action. Anli fully going off about something Messiah-esque, I'm sure.
Come on, Crossring.
I'm into it.
Maddie, Kathy trying not to break, apparently, is what we have over here. And then shout out to 2015, Cairo, just really enjoying a message from a call from Riley. Just so beautiful. This is my favorite because it's like sums up the whole show.
Yes. Yes.
Kyra's like, please don't do it. And Riley's like, I want to do it.
I love
But
it.
also, like, the cartoon of this musical, if we were the voices, would be so fierce. Like, I love this. If it was like, it reminds me of like old school Nickelodeon cartoons, right?
Oh, animated. We need an animated version.
Animated
Yeah.
Tigers on Nickelodeon.
Yes.
That sounds amazing to me. I was just watching As Told by Ginger, throwback.
Girl, I got every episode. Yes.
This is the generation for us told by Ginger. Someone once told. Oh, we have these amazing drawings of so much love, and we have so much Kate and Ava love. We have a lot of Ava over here. I like your. We have some. I like your pin. Thanks. I want to tell you a story about the pin. Was we decided during previews. That was during previews, right? We can confirm that they needed to be slightly more obvious.
Yes, it was
their queerness.
Yes.
And it was between shows, I think, on like Saturday. And I was like, I got this. And I ran to the Strand and I bought the pin. And I was like, here's a pin.
I still have all my pins.
You do? Yeah. They're all like STEM and gay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Maddie, there's a cute.
My backpack.
And then Riley having a great time. The dichotomy of Riley, which is just cheering with her little pencil and just cheering with her little knife. We were trying so hard not to spoil the show, but it's not going to work. She's just having such a great time. Equally, I'm just really enjoying the energy.
Pretty spot on.
Oh, a change in energy. And a change in Riley, a different shade of Riley's turmoil here.
We are hunting you.
That is a pro, honey.
This is the CW revenge show.
Yes.
Where the ghosts come after Riley.
Yeah, this definitely needs to be like an animation. Like,
Come on, I look fit.
No, same.
I like the Riley truly being haunted. What an exciting thing to see from her.
Yeah.
She was having a different moment in that other one. Just so many shades. Okay, we have an incredible Cairo over here with the agenda, and we have Riley as a phoenix. Look at that. There's her Phoenix.
Yes, Phoenix. Yes, agenda.
Once again, these are different artists. I didn't get a credit for M, but thank you so much. And then also Sea Urchins on Insta and Tumblr. I matched these together, even though they're different artists, because they're like, poor Cairo again, just like trying to have a good night. And Riley's like, I'm gonna kill you all. That's what's gonna happen. I'm so sorry. Oh, we have a lovely Sarah.
I love this one. I love this one. I have this one saved. I told y'all I save all of them. I think they're so cute. And come on, lips. Okay, pout.
We're also
Yes,
gonna,
lips.
this artist also made what's gonna play us out. Also made the upcoming cover that we listen to in our sound tech. So.
Okay, wears many hats.
A multi-talented creator, who the credit at this point is Maria, as per email signature. But please jump into the comments if you are here and want to share some handles for any of the artists whose credits I did not get. We want to make sure. Oh, look at these. I love the horse sweatshirt.
Wait, why didn't I have a horse
I
sweatshirt?
think that should be the next of the Tigers merchandise I make, is the horse sweatshirt.
We stan a
He's
horse.
a secret horse girl, right? Yeah.
He has all those massage
Oh,
mitts.
yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Riley was always preoccupied while Anli was going on about dressage.
Also, the movement of the skirt, like they know that I'm a dancer.
It's true. You can't keep it away. And then the Kesha sweatshirt. the party don't start till I walk in.
But like cozy. I like it.
Get me so well. Kesha, I have a tattoo inspired by Kesha, so thank you. Oh, and then we have these incredible oh my god, concept sketches. I'm glad you wrote it because I forgot what they were called. This was designed for a theater that this artist has worked with, and I just thought it was incredible. It's an incredible reimagination of how to design the space.
Wow.
I love this. A nice.
I know.
It.
We are gonna have some tech questions too soon about how we made all that happen.
This is for when we move to Circle in the Square.
Yes. Oh my God. So true.
Or like site specific at like a high school gym, like that. Looks
Yes.
Cheers.
Pictures. Part 2. We've got our beautiful kitchen/bathroom. Michael, you said we would never have both. Look at us now.
I said we never had both, but we fully did, and this looks great.
We didn't in LA. That was our struggle in LA.
In LA, yeah.
Was what are we gonna have? It was the kitchen won. See development. Oh, okay. Look at this. We have Ava who is playing guitar and singing, which I think is gonna have to be in a new iteration of this. Ava's gonna have to like show up with a guitar.
Oh heck yeah!
Usual Sydney tings.
What if? Do we know what song that is? What lyrics those are?
Oh my God! It is. I looked it up and it's oh hello something. Oh hello, soldier poet. Soldier poet something. Is anyone in the chat helping me? It's a very lovely song that seems very.
Oh, it's so cute.
Just really in it. And then I thank you, Rain. I got a drawing. Look, it's me. I'm
so cute.
I'm very honored. Thank you so much.
So cute.
Riley is a wildflower. How cute.
Yes.
Wildflower. Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh.
A change up in animation style that just delights me. Some Ava action.
Wow.
Sailor Moon realness.
Oh, so good. Enemy Dreams.
I'm like, Sailor Moon, come on with it. What?
I have not seen this one. I need to have this. I need to have a print of this. This is so gorgeous.
This was from an artist who came in very last minute. Thank you so much. It was not last. It was not too last. Jen, I believe. Please put your handle in the chat if you are here. We also have a companion piece that I couldn't put in the slideshow, so I'm going to exit real quick. There's a flash warning. It flickers a bit, so if you need that, please turn your screen down or whatever you need to protect your eyes. Look! Are you seeing little Riley?
Yes.
So cool.
With her knife and her
thing.
pencil?
So, the body and the hair I wish I had.
True horror elements over here.
Wow.
I love it so much. These are all so incredible. Like I said, there's also so many more on Instagram. These are made my day to put this together. I'm sorry I didn't arrange it more aesthetically pleasing. Oh, and then we have the whole group. The whole group is over here. This one came to me via Instagram a little bit ago and like always makes me so happy because it, it's the credits and everyone.
Oh, and they have our photo shoot one.
It is, and it also feels to me like Riley's imagining a good version of this sleepover, and I love that for her.
Aww.
And then you should be able to hear this. I hope you can hear it. We have an animatic for 30 seconds of Shut Up and Cheer.
Oh my God.
So if you can't hear it, enjoy the animation. And if you can, it's also accompanied by music. Oh, I muted it, so that's on me. One sec.
In a room full of people who have clearly made bad choices, I may be the stupidest one here. 'Cause having heard the stories and knowing all the drama, I still said I'd join the murder squad this year. I weighed the good in sacrifice, I swore that lightning won't strike twice, and surely this is all under control. This school costs more than I can say. They straight up comped me $60K, but also I'm afraid I sold my soul.
We're getting
I'm
closer.
really feeling this being an animated musical.
Real.
Absolutely.
That blew my mind.
That was beautiful.
We're back. I've stopped sharing, right? Everyone can see everything correctly.
Wow.
I want to thank everyone who contributed.
I'm gagged. I'm gagged, all of it. Like, wow, that was stunning.
Stunning.
The
No.
talent.
And that was only like with the very short notice that I gave everyone. And thank you all so much for coming through. And if you have anything, please tag me or Preston Max Allen or the Tigers Instagram at Tigers Musical, and we're going to share it. I really love these. I really love seeing what everyone's doing and all the different like imaginations that people have for what these characters are experiencing. You know, we had a lot of gleeful Riley. We had some sorrowful Riley. It's just like I get informed by these. I'm like, oh my God, that's what she would look like if she was like really so remorseful about this. It's so heartbreaking. So thank you all for coming on that journey with me. Let's move back to questions. Unless does anyone have any comments or concerns or thoughts that they want to share at this moment? Is anyone like, if I don't ask this question? Oh, Soldier Poet King says the chat by the Oh Hellos was the song.
That was the song that I was playing on the guitar.
Was playing.
Okay, I got to give it a listen. I'm not hip enough to know that tune.
It seems very like Iron and Wine was the vibe I got from my brief Google search. Like
that tracks for me.
And you do all those beautiful covers. Maybe we can see that one day.
Thank you so much. Maybe I'll throw that one on the list.
A special Q&A shout out. When Caroline returns. Oh, when Caroline returns. Speaking of, I want to direct.
I have to get my tub of Twizzlers, so that's where I'm at.
Please twizzle away, everyone.
The sweets queen always brought the sweets backstage.
Some people brought incredible, some people brought to the cast incredible designed art pieces of cupcakes and stuff like that for everyone.
Those cupcakes were stunning.
Those cupcakes were incredible. Let's revive it and get a lot of snacks. That is my goal.
We love snacks.
Let's talk to the swing and standby and understudy experience a little bit, because so many of you had so much that you were doing. So for a moment, we're going to get into internals in a moment. But for Alexia and Caroline, which character did you enjoy portraying the most?
Well, I enjoyed playing Cairo because I had rehearsed it. I had a rehearsal for it. As many, but maybe not everybody knows, we were doing understudy rehearsals, and there were internal covers. And so we, at least Alexia and I, were pretty much given one role to start learning. And that's the role that we had each started learning. And I know Alexia also had a similar experience where she had not necessarily learned Ava's part either. But we were preparing for the big ones. And so when Caitlin called out and I had to learn Farrah's track, I had about 3 hours to learn it, which was, we did it. It happened. People pushed me around, but I also always just say that I can't imagine if this had been my first experience with the show, because I'd also been it with Jenny since 2015. I'd heard the song, I played Anne Lee then, and I had sung other parts in different concerts and things. And I don't know what would have happened if I had only ever just learned half of Cairo and then had to go ahead and go in all in, because you just do the best you can with 5 roles. But I just that will probably always just be in my brain, the craziest experience ever. But playing Cairo was also amazing. I mean, I got to live my Mean Girl dreams, and I had a blast. And now there's fan art of me holding a communist manifesto, and I still don't really understand that, but we live for it. And I feel so grateful to have been able to peer into the put the shoes of so many different characters on in this show, whether it was from 2015 to now. And that's just an experience for me that I think is pretty singular. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity to have kind of been able to step into that and, do my thing.
My favorite, it was Ava, because that was the one time I got to go on. And also I feel like that is the character that I'm most like in real life. I literally was just playing myself for that. Also, I didn't really have the time to like sit and really dig into her and like think of everything that this teenager must be going through. So I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna play myself. We basically have the same problem. So I'm just gonna go for it. I really enjoyed doing that, but I really enjoyed Reese, correct? I really enjoyed the moments, like the bathroom situation. When I had that one time I had rehearsal to do the scene with Clark, I was like, this is super fun. It's just a lot of like physical comedy, and especially like watching Mimi every night really like get into this character. I usually don't play characters like this. So I was like, okay, I need to figure out a way to like make this work. That was the most challenging character because I remember I got to have like one run through of doing this character, of doing Reese's character. And it was the hardest thing I have ever done because I didn't really have any rehearsal for her at all, not even musically. I have never said the lines out loud. I'm dyslexic, so that is like a thing for me. I need to say it out loud at least the whole entire show, at least like 3 or 4 times before I even go to rehearsal. And I just remember stepping in like, I'm gonna mess up. Before we even did the run, I was like, I'm gonna mess up a lot. I'm gonna say the wrong lines. I might even say another character's lines that I'm understudying, but you know what? We're just gonna go for it. And I'm gonna just pray that I never had to go on for Reese. And thank goodness I never had to. I was almost scared because I remember within like the first week or something, Mimi, we had like a small little scare that she had to, and I remember like,
I hurt my knee.
Yes. And I remember Ash coming up to me and being like, you might have to go on after intermission. I'm like, excuse me, I just got here. Like I came when you guys got to the theater. So I was just like, okay, how are we going to make this work out? But it was a big like challenge for me, especially because that was the second time that I had to like understudy more than 3 characters. I was just like, okay, we're just going to go for it, get all my little coloring gadgets and things and sit and just listen and watch as much as I can every single night. I took a lot of recordings to like just look at them every time I went home, like I was in college again, and just tried. But it was also super fun. So it wasn't that hard because every line, every moment, and also getting to do these scenes with all these wonderful actors, like hilarious. A lot of times I had to keep myself from busting out from laughing from anyone. Even a serious moment, I was like, this is too much because I know what's going to happen next. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I wish we could revisit everyone in all those roles because I want to see everyone. We're losing Lauren in a couple minutes, so I want to ask you a couple parting questions, if that's okay. We're going to do a lightning round. Also, if anyone else is leaving, please let me know so we can do your brief lightning round. If Riley didn't murder anyone, what would she be doing right now? Like, what would her after high school experience be like?
Oh God, I think she would be in some kind of rehab. Not maybe therapy, like a lot of therapy. Man, maybe her career would be like an event planner, like something where she's so in control of the outcome and the experience that people are having. So event planning and probably in a lot of therapy.
She loves an agenda. I appreciate that. And Lauren, what advice would you give your high school self? I love this question.
You mean real me or
yeah, real Lauren?
Oh my God, my poor high school self. Well, first I would just like hug her so much. High school was the worst time of my life and I have kind of blacked it out of my memory. So I don't remember a lot of it, but man, I hate to say the cliche thing, but just that it gets better. Like to look back, and when you're at that age, like your perspective is that this is the worst thing that's ever happened to you in your life. This is the biggest event. This is the most important thing because you're only 15, 16, 17 years old. So it's really hard to tell a high schooler in that moment, like, this isn't going to matter in 10 years. But looking back, I'm so grateful to have grown and learned so much and healed so much. Yeah, it gets better and you're awesome and you're going to grow up to learn to love all of the things that you hate about yourself right now.
Thank you so much. That was like, I felt that. I was like, I also don't remember most. That's cool. But I thank you for that. And thank you for joining us. And if you need to leave, if you want to hang out for a couple minutes, if you need to go, please go. We're so glad you could be here.
Yes, me too. I love you guys all so much. And also, I'll just say to all the fans, like, I'm so glad we recorded this cast album because the amount of love that this show has gotten after, like, I really feel like we made something special and it didn't get to have its like full long life, but in a way it did. Like, people love this show and they send us amazing art, and I get tagged in awesome covers every day. So I still feel like I'm getting to relive it and reap the benefits and the rewards and the memories and the connections with new fans and with you guys. So I'm so grateful for the continued love of Tigers. Yeah.
And follow Lauren on everything. She's on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter.
Bye, everybody.
All right. I want to hop back into internal understudy questions too, because I know we had several internal tracks going on, and we had Zoe who went on, and so I guess it was Celeste and Sydney and Zoe were our three internals, right? No one else was internal. What is that like to understudy a character that you are playing off of, and in many of your cases, like that is the antagonist to your character?
I'll start by saying that we were very lucky because we found out very early on, or at least I did, who we were covering. So by the time we started rehearsals and I was learning Farah, I was also kind of like paying attention to Ann Lee, but also it ended up being very nice that the person that I was understudying was someone that I had a lot of scenes with, because you know, a lot of times when you learn your own lines, you learn the other person's lines too, so that it's acting, you know. So it ended up really working out. And another good thing was that my role, I was very grateful for this, that my role was not huge. You know, it was something that was very prominent, like the first act, and the second act I kind of pop in, and which was amazing for me personally. This was like my first big thing, so like it was a great opportunity to get to just sit back and like understand how everything worked. But and I was terrified. Oh, I should also add that I was terrified to go on. I was like, oh my god, the idea of going on last minute as an understudy is so scary, so I better be on my stuff right away. And you know, I had enough rehearsal. Yeah, I definitely run the show, I think once or something like that. I don't even remember. I definitely run the show and I like knew the music. So, you know, it definitely got my heart racing a little bit when we found out that I was going to be going on. It was a crazy day. Everyone in this cast knows that something about me, Caitlin's already smiling, is that it's less is laughing. Okay, I know this is about me. I'm really big on routine. So I have a very strict routine just because, like, you know, peace of mind, and I always want to do the best I can, and like that's the best way for me to do it is to have a routine, so like I can always follow in the routine. And boy, this shifted my routine a little bit. I was in the subway, I had my Trader Joe bags, just like sitting there like talking to my friend about this day I was gonna have, and I saw that I like missed calls because I didn't have service, and like it's my stage manager being like, you have to go on, and I saw the text from Caitlin. I was like, I think I'm gonna take an Uber to work today. I remember that was like the first thing I said. And then I remember like so much love to Lewis, because I remember calling Jenny and being like, can Lewis like come early? Like, I don't know if I'm like ready for this, because Forever was one of the ones that I hadn't like spent. I don't know why I felt that was one that I needed to like work on. But yeah, I thank God for Lewis for coming early. I came very early. I had the support of everyone. I blacked out, so I don't really know like what happened, but I was very, very supported. Before the breakdown, I really didn't. I remember just like walking around the bathroom. I'm so sorry. And like, why am I apologizing now? No one cares. But like, yeah, I remember that moment being like, you know what? This is the one that I'm going to give myself a break. I really don't know what she's doing. I'm just going to like make sure I'm not moving when like everyone else isn't moving. And yeah, but other than that, it was a fabulous experience.
Zoe is a star and she was incredible. And I'm obsessed with you. She was a very, very supportive sister.
It was great. It also just helped that like we were in the same dressing room. We were always talking. Like I saw her routine, yeah. And you know, that definitely helped her routine.
I learned about the routine from Lana Zoray herself. So I keep that with me.
Yes.
Routine queen.
Love the routine.
Mad props to every cover in this show too, because our genius choreographer, who's not here right now, Catherine Verdi, choreographed this show like it was like choreographed pedestrian movement. And so for them to all have to like get into their mind, like you have to grab the water bottle on. So it's harder to learn even than regular choreography, because it's not like a 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like you're gonna move your hand right here. And somehow they all got it. I was like truly in awe.
Yeah, and Lewis. Yeah, Lewis, you were an amazing dance captain. You were so helpful, because that honestly was harder than actual choreography for some reason.
Yeah.
Simple. But I feel like since I covered Kate, who is just like attached to Ava's hip for like a lot of the time, or at least in the same scenes, basically I just had to be like, okay, so I say this here and I'm on the left side. So then I guess Jenny's on the right side. I just took everything that I was in and reversed it basically for the most part. And similarly to Zoe, I was barely in the first act. So it was for the most part just the first act that I really had to commit to memory. But since I was barely in it, I had the opportunity to like really watch her. I would literally go and like sit in front of the little like TV screen thing on the side and just watch her do all her scenes from there. But I was also terrified to go on. I remember like Jenny would like be like, oh, my throat feels scratchy. And I was like, are you sick? Are you drinking water? Your vitamins? Be like, don't get sick on me now. It's exciting. And it's also just fun to learn an extra part. It's always exciting.
Yeah. I guess that's me. I was the other one. Am I? Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, it was scary. It was fun, but like I've never been in a show and understudied at the same time. So it was just like a new thing for my brain. I feel like it was definitely hard for any scenes that I was in with Riley. That was like wild to me. I was like, but I'm over there. And then so I feel like similar to what Zoe said during breakdown, trying to learn Riley's track during breakdown, I was like, how? Like what? And that's what Lewis with all like the pedestrian, he'd be like, no, Celeste, like you're in the kitchen and you pick up the knife. And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, what? So Lewis was very helpful and very nice to me because I was a little slow. But yeah, it was fun to get to like, I feel like learning all of the music was so fun to me to like have us. I remember when we all like first sang Phoenix, like the understudy, we were like, this is so fun to get to do, because usually we're like backstage harmonizing and being like covered in blood. But yeah, it was fun. I was like really, really relieved I never had to go on for Riley. But yeah. Also, I had done like different variations of the show for so long, like concerts and demos and stuff, that like I felt like a swinging heart already.
You did an event where you, like a promo event where you were both Maddie and Riley.
I know. You guys like came up to me at rehearsal and you were like, okay, so we need to like block this thing today. So later, can you actually leave and just sing like everyone else's songs? And I was like, yeah, I'm dead. Like, I'll go do that. That was funny.
I want, before we get to our next question, and we're gonna do a couple like more long form questions, and then we're gonna do like some like lightning round fun little things where you can chaotically just jump over each other. I do want to shout out that watching Lewis dance captain during rehearsal was an incredibly fun thing that I did often. Your Ava and Shut Up and Cheer was extraordinary. And I wish,
like, why weren't you sending me to these promo events to do
internal covers all around any moment? Lewis could have gone on for anyone was the secret to the show. And gorgeously, if that. I want to ask another question that we received. Is there anything special that you would do to get into character? Any inspirations that you would draw from?
I would braid Zoe's hair.
That one for sure. That one definitely. I think that our backstage relationship just really helped at least just establish some sort of, even though on stage, like we weren't, like obviously our characters were conflicting. It's like, but it had to have started from somewhere. You know what I mean? So it's nice to have somewhat of a somewhere. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciated it. My God.
Oh my God. Don't even. Also, we were like we were nice to each other backstage so we could be mean on stage. So there you go.
Yeah, I did two things. One, before every show, I would put my earphones in and I would listen to Wiggle by Jason Derulo. And it's like, what you gonna do with that big fat butt? Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Because to me, like Reese would have to psych her, like this is the body she has, so she has to love it. So I would listen to that every day before the show. And then two, on our first preview, experienced my first ever in life panic attack. Like I was about to go on stage to do Captain for the first time, and I felt like an elephant was on my chest. And I was like, I've never felt this way before. I'm about to pass out. Like, what's going on? I remember just being like, no one was surrounded. I was like, something's not right. And so the whole number, I was like, I'm either gonna die or this is how I go. I'm gonna get on that table and pass out. And so I remember I called my sister and I was like, what is this? My sister's a lawyer, not a doctor, but I thought she'd have the answers. And I was like, what happened? And she was like, I think you had a panic attack. And I was like, okay. So then I would have to take 8 count breaths before I would go on stage. So I would talk to no one and I would breathe in for 8 counts. I'd hold it for 8 counts and I'd release it for 8 counts every single night before Captain. And if I didn't do it, the minute I picked up that cheer magazine, it was like, go, 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 go. So sometimes I would forget and I would hold it above my face and take my deep breaths and just hope that my mic wasn't on, or I would not be in it at all. It was became the thing I had to do every night. It was crazy.
I actually have a question for you ladies, because I don't know if the fans know. Most of the time when you're in a show, you have your own dressing room or you share with one other person. At our show, everybody was in the same, there were 2 dressing rooms. So essentially half the cast in one and half the cast in the other. How did that change your experience of this particular show?
Oh, wow. I mean, I think it brought us together, although it was trying at times. We loved each other. It was so cramped and we were covered in blood and sorry guys, got to get through, and trying to wash ourselves. Zoe and I were next to this sink and we would be washing the blood off and be sorry. And usually the union equity, Lewis would have had to be in his own dressing room. So at first they did have a sort of divider up for him, but we were I'm sorry, it's too small. We can't get through. So Lewis, we were sorry, you just get to be our friend. And he said yes. So
it was the honor of my life.
Honestly, I can't imagine not having you in the dressing room though, Lewis. You just had to be there. So I think it was meant to be, truly.
It was truly the safest space I think that I've ever been in, was that dressing room. And even having our friends over the wall, it was just, we would come in every day and I could bring in the best energy or I could bring in the worst energy. And in minutes, it was one Ariana Grande song. And I was like, this is the best day ever. Also shout out to that album that I think we listened to it every single day. And it really,
love that album.
It made the show for us. Walking in and seeing those people and it really was. It was my favorite dressing room cast experience I've ever had to date. Truly, it's some of the best people.
Yes, and honestly, the amount of naps we took on that floor, where we just literally me and Mimi sleeping on stuffed animals on the floor. That was the whole hallway of the dressing room. It was just us laying on the floor.
Couch, who could get to the couch on stage? You would try to get back early to get the couch, but
I never got the couch. I never got it. But the amount of snacks and French fries, yes, is the best.
Snacks.
We love snacks.
Yeah. Oh, and lime fresca, can't forget. We love. It was great. Although we were right next to the bathroom, I do have to say that Zoe and I shared a wall with the bathroom and didn't always smell great. So
no, you know what? My mom sent me a bottle of Poo-Pourri yesterday, and I actually don't think I could use it because I smelled it and it just brought back memories. I have many positive. That's not one I, yeah. It was a weird, it wasn't the most optimal space, but it was great that, the people were awesome. But no, I loved it. It was really, really fun.
Also, one of my favorite memories is when Zoe went on as Ann Lee. Zoe had mentioned that she loved the shakes from Shake Shack. So I brought back a shake from Shake Shack, and I got back and someone had brought her McDonald's. I had brought her a shake. There was snacks. It just was such a hard, her station was covered with you got this girl treats. It made me so happy.
That's a part of my routine. That's a part of my routine is a snack. You must have a snack. If you die in the show, you must have a snack after. That's the rule. But yeah.
Caroline, she had to endure my burps during the entirety of this show. She sat directly next to me. And one day I was just like, I'm sorry, girl, you're just gonna have to deal with this gas. And she was like, it's okay. And I was like, are you sure? And she's like, yes, it's fine.
We were meant for each other. It's okay. You had your bottle of MSG that you would.
Don't judge me. I just found out that MSG is actually not bad for you. So don't come for me.
I love you so much.
I love you.
I love you too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, truly good times.
One thing I really enjoyed about being in such a small space, I came in pretty late. Caroline she had experience with some of the actors in the past from doing the show, but I came in pretty late. And I remember just getting there and being like, oh my God, everyone is so friendly and everyone is so nice. It's kind of scary. I'm from Jersey City, so nobody's that friendly, so I just so I just kind of walked in okay, I'm just gonna observe. And I was really able to just watch everybody and how they worked and learn from everybody, because again, that was my first time doing a show with a script, understudying that many people. And also just the fact that we were able to sit backstage, Caroline and I, during the show and mouth along together, practice the harmonies, because we were just right there. We would just switch on and off to different things and mouthing back and forth, playing two different characters at once. That was really helpful that she was there. She also offered to help me and read with me all the time. And
I was gonna say we shout out to everybody else who was always so willing to help us. Sydney would always, I remember, just would always help us with all that stuff. And it never felt was it overwhelming? Sure. But it never really, but there was zero times where everyone was like, can you help me? And they were like, no. Everybody was always so willing to help, because I think we were all kind of in the same boat of we're just kind of on this ship and we're just riding this wave, and it's all kind of crazy and we're all just kind of in it together. But Alexia's right though. I mean, we had our times where it was just us back there. And so we would just kind of open the script and just talk along with everybody. And we're like, oh, it's yours anyway. It's fine. We can go.
Yes. My swing sister. Yes. It was
always, baby.
That.
Are we ready to do some lightning round questions? Let's embrace chaos a little bit. So if you start talking at the same time, just quick agree who's gonna go first, or just say it at the same time. What is and I won't be offended by any of these things. What is your favorite song in the show?
Shut Up and Cheer.
Skype tomorrow.
For the breakdown.
Shut Up and Cheer.
Shut Up and Cheer.
IDK.
Shut Up and Cheer.
Second is Move On.
Oh, and don't even.
Don't even so good too, but I don't know. Skype.
I was gonna say don't even.
Skype Tomorrow had that beat.
The beat.
And
Caitlin, Lauren, and I every night would be underneath the drummer. I'm a drum person. The drummer, and we were and there's Skype sounds, right? Is that a Skype sound? It's a Skype sound. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The breakdown had those harmonies though. The whoa, whoa. I was living my best Avril Lavigne moments during those times. Whoa.
Yes. And then you throw Time Out in the mix and it's which one? You know what I mean? Which song is
universally everyone's favorite song.
Yeah, does the curtain speech count? I'm just wondering.
Oh yeah!
Shout out at our curtain speech star, Caroline. Oh, the dream. Okay, do you have a favorite prop in the show?
My Jesus necklace.
Sydney, the cell phone.
Was so scared of that cell phone. My favorite prop was the weight that Mimi hits Lauren with.
Wait, Wanu, I just remembered that I would write on the cell phone in Act 1 and you would text
Oh wait,
back.
it was you. It was you. Wait,
Yeah.
sorry, Sydney. Yes. Celeste, when we would yes, the cell phone.
I don't think we knew who was the other person. I didn't know who was writing back to me, but every show I'd come out and be like, ooh, someone wrote back on the phone.
I had two phones, and one I would be sending messages to you, and then the other one I would take pictures like during Worst Team Ever. When I'm in the bathroom, I would like take pictures, and then Sydney would get it in the second act, and she'd be like, "Wanu, what the fuck is this?" So yeah, cell phones for both of you guys.
Wait, weren't there M&Ms? I would always eat the M&Ms at the end of the show.
Oh.
The M&Ms and the pretzels.
Yes, I would be
and the chips.
Yeah.
My favorite prop, that they were all wonderful. Shout out Alyssa Tryon for our props. Is the cheerleading trophy, Riley's cheerleading trophy, with the participation ribbon, and it says Giles Corey High School, you tried. Alyssa came at me with this one day, and I just couldn't stop laughing. So this lives in my house now. I adore it. Are you ready for another lightning round question? If you could switch roles, this goes many ways for many different people. If you could play any role if you were not in the show, if you could switch roles that you didn't play, or if you could understudy a role you didn't understudy, and go on as that role.
Farrah.
Wow. Farrah, great.
Annalie.
Cairo.
Reese.
Yes.
I think Riley.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be Riley. That'd be fun.
Clark.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I want to do Reese. That would be such a blast.
You would kill it. Fierceness.
Jenny, would you be
You literally get to do every single theater thing that's ever existed. You get to sing, you get to dance, you get to kick people, you get to kill people, you get to fall, you get to beat it's a laundry list.
And the death drop would finally make it in the show that I tried to put it.
Out there. I'm still working on it. When we finally get to Broadway, I'll put it in.
Was there a role, Jenny, that you were ready to Jenny Kennedy, that you were ready to hop in on if you had to?
Absolutely not, because then no one would have been calling the show. That's what Caroline and Alexi and Cameron were there for.
I mean, if everyone was on and they were like, oh my God, we're missing someone, and you were like, someone else is going to run the board, was there a role that you were that you knew so well that you were like, I could go on in that role?
Maybe Farrah. I love me some Farrah.
I wish
That's a good role.
Jenny calling this show, because she would be rocking out the whole show as she's calling. It was so much fun to watch.
Yes.
Had a routine. I saw it.
I should come to you at one point about notes for the show and be like, what were you not responding to watching it every night? Just get that rundown. Let's do another lightning round. Do you have a favorite cut scene /line /song?
The
I think
song.
She's a poser, no one knows her, and yet everybody wants to be her.
I think I'll always miss Everybody
I
Wants to Be
never
Her.
remember that one.
I think we have to shout out Everybody Wants to Be Her was the Tiger song for so long. We trotted it out at every promo event. It was the Tigers theme song. And we absolutely traded up. Preston was a genius with Don't Even, but I think Everybody Wants to Be Her will always have a little bit of a special place.
I will explain the origin of my shirt. in honor of Everybody Wants to Be Her at this moment. So Everybody Wants to Be Her was one of the first, it was in the show in like 2011. And I will answer the question of like, how did I decide to write the show before this is over? I got that from a few people. But my brother was a huge fan, is a very wonderful fan of the show. He saw many, many times of me. He's a very special person in my life. And he loved Everybody Wants to Be Her, though. There were certain things where he was like, you can't make that change. Like, you can't do it to certain things throughout the show. And that song, when I told him, like, I was nervous to tell him we were going to cut it. I was, like, freaking out. And he was, of course, he was like, so I was like, okay, Jeremy, come to tech. I wrote another song. Come to tech, and like, if you come at the right time, you'll see them run Don't Even, and I can like get your blessing. Hopefully, you'll like it. He loved the show, by the way. He saw it like 15 times. I hope he might be watching. Hi, Jeremy, love you. My whole family did, and they're very lovely and special. Jeremy lived in New York with me and came a lot. We were like, come to tech and you'll see the end of Don't Even. And he was trying to get through. He was like racing there. And he came right as we finished running Don't Even and ended up sitting next to me for like truly an hour and a half while we ran the Take a Walk Kate transition. So just saw the line, take a walk. It was a big transition. We ran it for, I think, a pretty long time. And I was like, Jeremy, like, you can leave. Like, you don't have to be here anymore. But he was like, no, the magic of the creation of theater. And like, it was very beautiful and special. But he sat there watching Take a Walk, Kate Take a Walk for just ever and a day. And then when he came to see the show with me, because he would sit next to me sometimes during previews when I was nervous. And he'd be like, it's okay. Every time they said, take a walk, Kate, he would like squeeze my hand and be like, it's the line. So that is why for his birthday I made a Take a Walk Kate shirt, and every once in a while I sell them for charity. They auctioned for charity purposes, so there's like 4 of them in the world right now. But that is why the line Take a Walk Kate is very important. Shout out Jeremy Allen for that. And yes, we do miss Everybody Wants to Be Her. At one point I'll go in an in-depth discussion of why that song did get cut for the best, but I think the runner-up for me in cut songs and lines is Songs for Satan was not in the show actually, but there was a brief draft where Farrah said that she had her own singing group called Songs for Satan. I'm not even sure that you knew about that. Sorry, but that
I did not know that.
Who knew about that? That was in the script. Like, I think I had my own judgment call on that, but I do miss Farrah's Courts for Christ song. And then also Jenny Baker, the long history of the line and Move On. There's the concert tickets you're supposed to see.
I was thinking about that earlier today and I wanted to mention it and I forgot when I had the moment, but thank you for bringing it up. Yeah, concert tickets as the subject of that phrase. A big
I was trying, there's the line in Move On that is, you're the only person in the world I want to see. It was for very many years. There's some concert tickets we're supposed to see, which to me was not the right line because it implied that Chess was just supposed to look at the concert ticket and not like go to a concert. And I was like, it's a bad lyric. I have to change it. We like never did. I think it was in LA. I got a question about what changed in LA, and the only thing I know a lot did, including like High School Experience, but I could only think of the rooster that we had for the blood splatters. And I was like, RIP that rooster. But the concert tickets you're supposed to see was in it for a long time. And I think it was the hardest thing to figure out how to change in the show. Like, I think you sat with me in like rehearsal rooms where I was like, what is
I think we just played with it for a while.
And I was like at one point, like, I've changed the line. It doesn't quite scan, but we're done. We're done with the concert. And through all those years, did you know what concert Chess and Kate were supposed to go to?
No, I didn't. I probably should have asked you, but
in my mind, it was Tegan and Sarah. I was like, it's gonna take Jess to Tegan and Sarah. But I guess that can be the new thing. We'll see. Now I feel like it would be like Haley Cuoco. Something super gay. I love that for them. I wonder actually, Celeste. We're gonna go back to lightning round soon. But Celeste, did you have any thoughts and feelings on Chess's relationship with Kate? I know it's a big question to all of a sudden ask you.
No, I mean, we talked about it throughout a bit, and I feel like obviously that's open for everyone's interpretation, but I feel like what we settled on was like, I mean, I remember having female friendships growing up where I just like loved them so much in a platonic way, but it was almost like I was like dating them because it's hard to explain, but I feel like that's what it was for Chess. And I think maybe for Kate, it was like a bit of a different thing. But also I don't think she lived very long, so she didn't get to explore much of that. So, you know, who knows? But it was so special getting to do it with Jenny because we've like, I don't know, been duet buddies forever. It's like anytime there was a Preston concert, Jenny and I will be singing some duet. So it was nice that we finally got to like do this show together, and we have our breast friends. We have our breast friends bracelets. We have our best friend bracelets that like Jenny would always be like, "Are you wearing it?" And I'd be like, "I forgot." But a lot of the shows I did wear it, and we still have them. Pretty good.
Yeah, definitely duet partners. And I think when we did Alone Now, that was before Tiger. That was before like this production, right?
Yeah, that was when I came out. That was the 2017 concert.
That's right. And Alone Now like could have been like a Chess and K song.
Absolutely.
In another life. But yeah, that was definitely very special. And I think that in my mind for Kate, like whatever that relationship was going to be, if had Chess survived longer, I think the love was there no matter what. And maybe that's the sequel that we never got to see of her dealing with that. But I think that friendship, you know,
I think it would have been
like many friendships that are what?
It would have been a lit Netflix movie. Like,
oh yeah,
like I'm not into it. That's not my life. And then she goes to college and you're all she thinks about. And then like you go to the same college, you're drunk at a party, something happens. Jess is like, I'm not that. And then it's like in 90 minutes, she is that and you're in love forever.
There you go.
That's what I think.
Amy's writing the fanfic for us.
Yeah. My queer butt thinks it's that.
Also, to clarify the songs, because if you've looked at any of the songs from the 2017 concert, I know some people have. I Don't Care and Alone Now are both songs from a packet I was writing for the cult lesbian film Lost in Delirious that I really loved as a child. It's a very sad film. So I really wanted to adapt that, and I stopped trying because rights overwhelmed me at this point in my life. But that was what that was, and you know, there was very, very queer film. But I only want to adapt it now if it could have a happier ending, because it does not have a happy ending. And we are looking for queer joy in the coming years. We're looking for queer joy, and then maybe we can pepper in some like diversity of storytelling. But right now, just a happy gay people. Thank you for that tangent there. I want to do another lightning round, off the beaten path question. So if you don't want to answer, of course, you don't have to. But if you do, anyone can answer. And if you weren't a character in the show, you can answer based on your own feelings. Not about actors, but about characters. If your character had been the murderer and killed anyone, who would they have killed in terms of how they interacted with the characters on stage?
Cairo.
Was just about to say, bitch. I was like, Anley, your ass is cut.
I have like a theory that Clark could have killed everybody. Like in another world, Clark could have been the killer, I think.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
I mean, I guess I could have killed Farah. I don't think I would have. But I
Hey, you're
could've.
too good. You're too good. I feel like Chess has too good of a heart. I would definitely have killed Kate. I feel like that's what Farah would have done, maybe, if she would have killed anyone. But I don't think she's got the guts.
I feel like there's a side of Reese that could have killed literally everyone, but also it would have all been accidents. Like she would have been trying not to kill people and in the turn killing everyone.
I regret almost that it was a show where it wasn't just like Riley having a peaceful sleepover and Reese accidentally killing everyone. I just one by
like
one.
noises off but murder.
Yes, noises off but Reese murdering everyone. I think also it's mentioned in the script, or maybe it's not, that Reese did have some sort of extra community service for murdering Clark? Did that get cut?
I feel like that was there. I feel like that did get cut, but
no, I feel like it was in the last scene because it was like, do we have to acknowledge? We should acknowledge that this happened.
I think I talked about us going to community service, but I don't think I got like a special, I have to do more than everyone else.
Because we had community service in an hour.
Yeah.
At the final practice.
Yes. We have community service in an hour. But how hilarious that I'm not in jail, but it was accidental.
It was truly defense. I believe it was defense.
Hashtag justice for Clark.
That in every one of my auditions, the line, like, I liked Clark. I thought I had a crush on Clark. Like in all my 2 auditions and a callback, I played it that way. And then even in the read through, I played it that way. And then finally we went to stage the scene and Michael was like, you don't have a crush on Clark. And I was like, oh, sorry.
Maybe you still booked it. You still
Thank you. But like we previews in a week and I'm like, oh, I was off. Sorry.
I do want to ask this question because it's not a lightning round question, but it did get asked, and I'm going to paraphrase because I lost where it was. But can we talk a little bit about how the murders were staged and the challenges in the blood work, and from both a tech and a directing and actor perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I can take it from a tech perspective. We had Matt and Brandon were our violence designers. And they did the show in LA and did it here. And they were in rehearsal with us in the studio, and they worked with us from the beginning to sort of to help us design these moments of violence. I thought a lot today about like how to like talk about these, and I know you people that dealt with the blood can talk more about it, but I suddenly was like, oh, it's not as fancy as it hopefully looked. Like it was like Tide Pods full of blood hiding in the set that Celeste put in her mouth and chomped on. And, it was the fancy part of it was figuring out where from the set it came from and how to get as much of it as possible. But it was really important to me that we find a way to stage these murders because we couldn't see Riley do it, which is in a movie could solve it in 10 seconds. On stage, that was nearly impossible. So we had to see them see the knife and then jump cut to a bloody dead body. So we staged it a few times, and we even restaged it in previews, trying to figure out how, in a split second to go from being alive to dead. And I think we used strobe lights. Zoe got hit with a super soaker full of blood. Celeste picked packets out of a bush. But it was fun. It was a fun challenge. I don't know if you folks that dealt with blood want to pick up the baton.
There was a while that I had the blood packets on during Skype tomorrow. Oh no, during breakdown. I had them on earlier in the show and they were taped to my body, and that was in previews. And so I was just trying to walk and not move too much for most of, breakdown. But there was 1 or 2 shows where all of a sudden I just started spontaneously bleeding in the middle of breakdown, which was strange. And so I would be before the God, and just blood was coming. So we cut those, and then eventually it became I'd grab a Tide Pod of blood and put it in my mouth, grab a thing, and it was wild. But the blood was sweet and tasted like cherries. So there's that. And then I had to crawl backstage, under the stage, on my hands and knees to get back to the dressing room. So it was glamour. Zoe, do you have more to add on that?
You know what? I tell you what, I'm so grateful for this experience, because I really think that who gets to say that they did something like that? Because it's not a theater death. It is, like we were talking, it is like a horror movie death on stage. It's a completely different vibe. And it was a challenge until the very last day, because it's and also just if when I'm doing it, I'm like internally panicking a little bit. So I'm like, oh my God, gotta get this and this and this. And of course, when you panic, when you don't follow the routine, things can it can go wrong. But it was definitely, I loved, like, do you remember those days? Like we had tech days where they would give us like really crappy clothes and we would just like practice the deaths. That was so fun. Oh my gosh, wait. This is really serious. Hold on. I don't my friends actually were the ones that reminded me because they saw the first preview or something and then they saw the opening. My death changed during the show. I cannot remember the specifics of what changed, but I remember they noticed, they were like, oh my gosh, your death was different this time. It was a constantly like trying to figure out how to do it. The way that I did it was when the lights were out, I grabbed 2 blood packs. I popped one in my mouth and then I had another one. And honestly, I just asked for another one. By the end of the run, I was just like, pop, and I was like, pah! And then like, I would just like, and then the super soaker would get me. But yeah, we had a few, there was one time when it like got literally like shot into my eye. It was really crazy. It was a lot of trial, but like, it's easy when you work with fun people. But yes, it was very sticky. It was basically like, is it like corn? Corn starch? What do you call it? It was like olive oil kind of thing, but like really, really sticky. And it tasted sweet, but like, every day it's kind of like, whoa, that's sweet. But the thing about it was that it was very difficult to get off. It was very sticky. It's not like regular blood, it's like water, because obviously they want it to like stick to the body to be seen from afar. So it has to be a little bit different. But the cleanup was definitely
that was a whole routine. That was a routine in itself.
What was your routine? Tell me, Celeste, tell me what your post-death routine was.
Well, I would crawl out from under the platform.
Right.
And I would spit into a little cup that was handed to me. And then I would wipe my hands and then I'd crawl, hands and knees, as I said.
Right.
Across. So everyone's on stage acting and there's just like me crawling, covered in blood. And then it was like, I did mostly sink baths in the room. But so you often did sink baths in the hallway where the door would open to the bar. And there was a bar and sometimes the door would get open and was always like, covered in blood. And the people in the bar are like, what the hell is happening? So.
And I saw for a second because I didn't want to interrupt what you were saying. Yes, we didn't have a shower. We weren't able to have like a shower in the theater just because we were in a really, really small space. So what we did is like this is my routine. After I died, I too would spit out something, and every day, I don't know why, I remember I was like, bleh, like I would always make a noise, I don't know why, but I put the thing in, and then like I would usually kind of like walk into the dressing room, show everyone the work of the day, like, oh, bloody. And because some days it would get really crazy, like all over.
The best days is when you were like, I'm just like not bloody today.
Yeah. Oh my God. And then I started getting frustrated on days when I wasn't bloody enough. Yeah, I know. I'm like, am I okay? But yeah. So, and then after there was a bucket. The buckets with the rope handles. There was a bucket backstage with water in it, some warm water, because you need a little bit of warm water. And one of the dressers would help me, and she would literally had a cup, and she would pour the water on me, and I would like rub it off. I eventually like brought in soap. I had a full-on shower in this bucket, and for a long time, like we were talking about, yes, if this is the bucket, there's a door here that exits. That's the stage door. So at first we tried like the curtain thing, but I think by the end I was kind of like, fuck this. Like I'm just going. I'm just gonna wipe it all off. So that is my routine. It was really fun. It was actually really fun.
It was fun.
All those deaths and the cherries. I had to have 2 different cherries in different hands, and Michael always wanted more blood. There's never enough blood on the wall. And so I'm like getting hit in the head with a shower head. I'm trying to aim the blood at the wall and then smash my head and like drip it all over my face. It was crazy, but it was never enough blood. I think that's the theme. Never enough blood.
No, always. More blood, better.
You're our new tag.
I'm piping with my nightly panic was popping my blood packet for my leg, but there were multiple times that it shot like into the audience. And every time that happened, I would be like, oh my God, I have to tell somebody that maybe there's someone in the audience that is not going to be very happy with me. They might come and complain to, I was like, Jenny Kennedy, definitely just ruined somebody's outfit. Just so you know, you might hear something.
These things happen. It was washable.
It was, right, exactly.
I want to give a quick shout out to Hannah, our wardrobe supervisor, who cleaned everyone and gave us beautiful costumes on 2 show days. Jenna, who was our ASM, who was shooting the Super Soaker at Zoe and figuring that out. And there was a huge height differential. So there was no like knowledge immediately of this is where my head is. So this is where Zoe's head is, because it was very different. And also Olivia, who was also backstage helping us clean everything up. It was an amazing team. And we did not actually put Tide Pods in people's mouths. It was press and seal that Jenna filled with blood. I just want to say, please don't try stage blood with Tide Pods. That's what I have to say.
But all the
yes, that's
deaths
right.
and everything, all the deaths and everything, like I had never, and the fight scenes and all of that, I had never done any of that before. Like that outside of school and like the 1 or 2 classes you take, but it gives you so much appreciation for like stunt people and people who do those scenes in movies and all of it. It's like so specific. And then the whole other level of like making it look real. Like we would sit in rehearsal and Pugs, our like violence director, would be like, would you really take that breath? Is that real? And I was like, and then I'd have to like think about if someone was coming to attack me, like what I would do. And then I'm like, well, I guess I wouldn't take that breath. And then you're like, so it's like a whole new level of like the reality of like, okay, now, and then also Caitlin and I having to fight each other, being truly best friends, and not that rehearsal alone. They were like, can y'all stop laughing? Like this is getting out of hand.
No, we couldn't.
Like every day, we'd give each other a really big hug before the scene. I'd be like, I love you so much.
Literally. We saw each other yesterday. So we were literally like reminiscing about moments. But one time I went to pull Mimi and like fake pull her bun buns. Loved her bun buns. Oh, we already talked about this.
No, keep going.
Sorry. Literally just did like the stage got sticky and we like got stuck. Oh man, there were so many hilarious mishaps, but like got to do them with Mimi, and that was so fun.
Yeah, do not sleep on stage combat, dying, etc., because that stuff is hard.
Yes.
Everyone, I wish we had so much more time. We're not quite finished because I want to do like a wrap up moment. So we're losing Patrick. So I want to ask Patrick a question that I'm going to ask all of you before we end. So I'm going to ask Patrick this question, and I'm going to read a list of everyone who worked on the show. And then you're all going to answer this question if you are here. If you need to leave, let me know and you can answer it now. Patrick, what advice would you give your high school self / people who are currently in high school?
Oh. Wow. First, before I do that, I want to make sure, I would be remiss not to mention the band that is on the cast album and made the music happen at our show. Joe Wallace on the bass, Geraldine Anello playing piano and conducting at the same time, Aaron Drescher playing the drums, and Beth Callan playing the guitar. It was like an awesome band. They played the show every night on 2 teeny tiny little platforms in the air. It was very cool, and they sound awesome on the album. What was the question? What would I tell my high school self? Come out earlier. All of your male friends are gay and they're cute and would probably kiss you. So just like be gay sooner, maybe?
Patrick, that was beautiful.
Okay, that's it. That's all I got.
That was perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, ruminate on your answers. I am going to acknowledge our production, see you very soon, our production team that worked on this show. We had our producer, S. Asher Gelman, dramaturg Mika Kaufman, script PA Olivia Mancini, who also was backstage and who went through many levels of hell with me while I went crazy, and Olivia kept me together. Michael, of course. Sean J. Lehan, our assistant director, Catherine Rorty, our choreographer, Kate Lumpkin, our casting director, Patrick, the music supervisor, Matt Ament, our amazing orchestrator, Mason Ingram, and Randy Cohen, who worked in programming, Geraldine, Beth, Joe, and Aaron from our amazing band, our design departments, and Beiersdorfer, who built our incredible house with our team that we will get to in a moment, Alyssa Tryon, our props designer, Heather Carey, our amazing costume designer, Jamie Roderick, our amazing lighting designer. Everyone was amazing, so I'm going to stop saying that. They all were. Lizzie Mahoney, Josh Liebert, who did sound design. Lizzie was the assistant lighting designer. Josh Liebert did sound design. Josh Samuels, our assistant sound designer. Matt Franta and Brandon Pugmire, who are our violence designers. Our stage management team, of course, Jenny Kennedy, our assistant stage manager. Jenna Lazar, our general managers. Evan Bernard and Gwen Richmond. Yue Liu, our associate GM and company manager. Hillel Friedman. Melanie, I've never had to say her last name out loud. Do you know does anyone know how to pronounce it? Is it
Winto.
Winto, our production manager, and Jo Marie Pena. We have our cast who you have seen tonight, Kathy Eng, Maddie, who was not able to join us, and Cameron Bartel, who was Clark's understudy. Everyone else has been here tonight. Hannah K. Davis, our wardrobe supervisor, and Becca Stoll, who is listed here as A1, but who I understand is the person who made all the mics work. And it was very, very magical and helpful. So thank you so much. Becca, our labor team, John Anselmo, Dan Mullins, Dave Defibre, and Alicia Whittington. And of course, everyone who worked at Theater 80. Did I forget anyone? Everyone was an incredible teammate who was a huge part of making this show happen. And in the future, I hope we get to have more people join us and talk about their departments, because everyone was a major part of bringing this world to life.
Also, on behalf of Kathy, everyone go watch Over the Moon on Netflix.
Yes.
It is a stunning movie, and Kathy is stunning in it. And just go watch that movie. Go. I am her manager in this moment. Go right now. Watch it right now. 6 times.
Please, no, it's really gorgeous. To answer the question I did not answer about writing this show, really I just wanted to make a show that was going to be good for people who would identify with these characters in any stage of life, largely high schools and colleges. I was in college myself when I started writing it, and I was one of the leads in our high school musical, and there was only 2 people who were at that point identifying as female playing those leads, and there was a lot of incredible women in our high school, and I thought there should be a show maybe that is for all of these people to either be their major show or a show that that they can put on aside from like the big show that colleges do that so many talented people don't get into. So that was why I wrote it, and the advice I would give is that the first draft is wild, the second draft is wild, and the more it seems really frustrating that it takes so long to put a show up in its final form and get the album, but every year has been super valuable. Every moment to grow with this show and to mature with these characters has been like very important to who they became. So while I think 25-year-old me wanted that to be the end of the show, like I was like, oh, I did it should be on Broadway now, the extra years and growth that we took with it was very important, and the shows that I have that I had to put away for a while, I understand. While I'm sad to do that, I'm excited for who I will be and the maturity I will have when I bring them back, and I hope that it helps give them the is the key that I missed the first time when they didn't go to Broadway, as you kind of hope when you're writing a show. Also, of course, it is not about Broadway. It is about creating a team that trusts and respects each other and feels really good about the story that they are telling and the characters that they are portraying and how they are perceived by the people who need to learn and hear and connect to them. So I was very lucky to have this amazing group to bring these characters that do mean so much to me and a lot of my experience growing up as a very frustrated person who thought they had to be a teenage girl in high school. So this show is a lot of what that struggle kind of felt like, jumbled in my brain, put on a page, worked on over many years, and brought to life by such amazing people who I trust so much and who really made a dream come true. It's so cheesy, but it is true. So that is my statement. So let's say what we would tell our high school selves. Who wants to go first? Sydney, I saw you.
I'll go first. I would tell my high school self that being apathetic is not cool, actually. All the things that make you super excited and make you feel super passionate and driven and maybe make you look like a dork to other people are actually the things that make you so fantastic. And you should always own that.
I want to jump off of that one because something that I really related to Kate about is like kind of deciding that, oh no, I'm the girl who this. Like even if you're well-rounded, whatever, like I made that decision for myself. And I think that maybe stopped me from seeing like what was just outside of my blinders. And, Kate walking in is like, no, I am not the girl who like does that. And then by the end of it being like, there's something in it that I enjoy and I grew in this way, like that sometimes you don't know what experiences will give you if you're just like, nope, this is who I am. This is what I do. And, so I would try to look outside of my blinders more.
It's okay if you are telling that to yourself privately as well.
And still.
I think oh, go Caroline.
Oh, I mean, I think I just had a similar thing to Sydney, where I was just thinking about, being in theater, and I wasn't like cool, and I saw all these people that were cool, and now all those people are lame, and I'm cool, and like we're all cool, and so I think it's like, it's like. In high school, it feels like that's the most important thing, but then you watch all those people, like you don't want to peak in high school, man. Like you want to like grow, and like you don't want that to be like the best of times, because then that's like all you have. And like this, like the fact that like we get to do this, if I had just like kind of stopped because like, oh, I did shows in high school and that's it, being able to like continue the passion and continue to grow, and like this is like the good part, and like getting to like see the fruition of all that stuff that made you maybe not as like cool. Like who wants to be that anyway? That's the best that it ever got for them. And so like it only gets better and like more cool and awesome. So that's all. You're on the path, baby. You're on the path.
I think a path, the thing that I would tell myself in high school, and honestly something I've told myself over the past year, there is a plan. You are in the right place and it is the right time. You just don't know it. And you won't know it for 5-10 years, but you are right where you're supposed to be at this moment. So just trust that and keep moving forward.
I think I would tell my high school self that it's okay to be as optimistic and positive as you are. I mean, when I was in high school, people would always like judge my positivity and judge that I what, like they would always question like, you're not actually that nice, or that's like you grow up like, and I kind of let that dull how I saw the world. I was like, well, maybe that's not, maybe I should kind of darken. And then it just came to a place where I was like, no, I actually am this positive. And so I would just tell my high school self to like never even for a second become a mean girl, like never for a second allow yourself to like fake be annoyed or fake have that over it attitude. Like lean into the fact that you love your family, and lean into the fact that you love everything around you, and lean into the fact that like you love Justin Bieber, and lean into the fact that like you love all these silly, funny things, and you see the best in people, and never let other mean girls help you try and see the worst in people, because seeing the best in people is way better. Yeah.
I would say I love answering this question in the context of this show, because I loved getting to do this show because I really felt like I got to put myself into it, or like my sense of humor, which is something that like, I at least for me, I feel like for a lot of us, we're not like super confident to do, you know what I mean? Like I'm here, let's cheer. Pretty people have problems too. Like these like random things that or like little, I don't know, I really got to enjoy those things. And what's really funny is like, those kind of qualities in my personality are things that stand out when you're young, or maybe, you know, you try to suppress, or like you think that something's wrong, or like, you know, I guess my point is like, it's a whole, I don't know if I have like a phrase, but it's just about trusting yourself. It's about self-love, because like, how do you say it? It's like what makes you like different is like really what's gonna make you special in those moments. And like I don't know. I'm a big proponent on self-love and trust, because like, you know, even if you make the wrong decision, like you have to trust yourself. Like no one else is. And I think about, you know, high school, and the first thing I think of is like going to school for musical theater. I went to a school that was very like academic based, and like it required me to trust myself. And like all these moments in our lives where we trust ourselves are the moments where good things come to us. So yeah, continue to trust yourself and be yourself.
I would say on that note, it's okay if you don't have your people yet. You know, it's okay. Like, you're gonna have your people. And I love y'all a lot.
I would say just like be kinder. I would want myself to be kinder to myself. But like being pretty or fitting a mold like it's not the most important thing. And I think that was like, I thought that was so important, and really just like focusing on my friends and my just like having fun rather than caring so much about what I looked like or what people thought of me.
I would say, first of all, you're beautiful. So many image issues through middle school, high school, especially just like what was being pushed to us as younger kids in the media, especially as media was changing with social media and all that stuff. So yeah, just like I would say, like, bitch, you bad, you cute, you whatever, go ahead, girl. Also say those curse words. I never said curse words in high school because I went to church all the time, and like, you know, I would get in trouble if I said them. But like, look, I didn't die, so say the curse words. It's okay. And I would also say, yeah, do your research. If you want to dream big and do big, do your research, because everything is so tangible. You're never too young to reach anything that you want to reach. So yeah, just follow up, do your research, and you can reach it.
I would say to like follow after that. Just because people think it's impossible does not mean it's impossible for you. Even as a teenager, like I know so many girls now who like come into, when I teach classes, they walk in, they're like, I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be a dancer. And I'm like, yes, you are. You're going to be a star. Like you tell everybody. And that's the thing that I wish that I wasn't so ashamed to be when I was younger. I was so afraid of looking a certain way. And also, if you're going to question yourself twice, make sure you're questioning yourself for you, and make sure it's something that you want to do, not because you're afraid of what everyone else is going to think. Because honey, what everyone thinks does not matter. That's not going to pay your bills when you get older. That's not going to help you in relationships, nothing for your mental health. Just make sure you do you. Always do you, boo. That's it.
I would say you are singular, you are an artist, you are a singular artist. Never sacrifice that for any success or anything. And if and when there is a chandelier that shatters on the stage, clean it up.
The
best. The best.
Never forget, we did half a show with a fully shattered lighting fixture on the stage.
A metaphor brought to life.
It's because we were full out, okay?
Also, shout out to Wanu, who fully found a broom, didn't even know there was a broom on the stage, and just started sweeping.
Girl, I was like, I am not cutting myself for this paycheck, okay? This paycheck is not worth the cut, okay?
I want footage of that, and I want to put walking on broken glass, like as the soundscape, like, and it's just me and Lewis like crawling.
Did anyone not share their high school dreams? Great. I will share mine. I think like you deserve happiness. Like, even if you thought you deserved some most happiness, you deserved fully all of it. Like, ask for what you need, ask for help, question lovingly why you are feeling so trapped. But always try to take really good care of yourself while you're asking those questions, and not judge yourself really harshly while you're asking those questions. Also, when you are trying to work in your craft, you are as professional, even at any age, as anyone else that you are working with. You should be professional, you should be respectful, you should do the work you need to, but so should everyone around you. No one should talk crap at you. You are being told that you should take a bunch of crap to be a theater artist, even in some of your college programs. And in high school sometimes, well, I went to a lovely high school, but you're told you're going to get treated a certain way by professionals, and you just have to take it. Everyone should be treating you in a healthy way, in a safe way, in a respectful way, and in a professional way. No one should be judging your body. No one should be judging your size, what you look like. That is not safe, and that's not professional. And also, you think that you think that it's good to be moody, and to not treat your moody was a light version of that, to not treat some things that you really could have treated, because it would have made you a more authentic and dark artist, to not look into your mental health. That is not true. Look into your mental health. The happier you are mentally, and the more you take care of yourself, the better art you make. By suffering, you will not create better art. You will not create art that thrives in suffering. By taking care of yourself, you'll have a better perspective, and you're playing the long game here with your health, and that is the most important thing. Always put your health and safety first, and always work with people who put your health and safety first. And that is my advice to my high school self. Everyone, if anyone has any parting words, please unmute and part with those words.
I just want to say my cheeks are hurting from smiling for this whole 2.5 hours, because this was such an amazing experience, and this is just bringing back so many memories and so many lols, and I just wish we could all hang out. And yeah, I'm glad there are people out there that love the show as much as we all love it. I still work out to the cast album all the time, and I'm I love it. I can't get enough. So thanks for doing this, and I just miss you guys.
As far as the future of the show, that remains to be seen. All I would say is keep listening to that cast album, keep sharing it with your friends. That's the best way for there to be a future for this show. But enjoy what we have now, and the more that it gets out in the world, the more we can do this kind of thing and share the show with you. So that is my parting words. Also, you don't have to follow me on Twitter. This is not a request for that, but I'm going to post everyone's social media handles on Twitter so that you can follow everyone. Everyone on the Zoom, please send me what you want people to follow. Otherwise, I'll just post where I know you are. So that is coming up so that everyone can find you and follow you.
Preston, what's funny is that before you put this all together, I was actually going to do a Tigerversary and be anybody who wants to ask questions, ask questions. I think I'm going to follow that up on Insta for anybody else who's still on here and wants to ask questions. And if anyone else wants to jump in along cast wise, by all means, because I'm we had such a short time. So I'm what's good? Let's go. This is let's talk. This was such a fun show, such a great group of people, such yeah, and it's just something to celebrate, so we can keep celebrating on the other platforms.
Yes, after party. Very exciting. I will see you there. Also, I'm going to try to get this, we're going to keep this up for a little bit. We're going to try to get it captioned so that it is accessible. I'm going to work on that as soon as possible tomorrow. And so we want everyone to be able to revisit this moment with us and share it with us. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for listening to the show. When I say it means the world, it literally means my world. All of you are incredible, and hopefully we'll be seeing much more of each other. Bye. Stay safe and stay healthy, everyone.
Love you guys.
Bye. 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 Good figures.